Hey guys, I'm Diana and I am here to sew up the awesome undercover hoodie. And I'm wearing one right now that I made and I love. Here's my pocket. I love it so much. It is so cool. Here's my hood. If you want to see it. Yes. So anyway, I know that a couple people are very intimidated by hoodies, as was I. And once I made this hoodie, I realized there is nothing to be afraid of. Like literally nothing to be afraid of. All of Ellie and Mac's patterns are just so awesome and self-explanatory, and all the pictures and tutorials help so much. So really, I was scared for nothing. So I'm really excited to be doing this video so I can show you guys how easy it really is. And actually, I'm really excited because I made my son a Chapman cardigan the other day, and he had this material on it. And I didn't think I had enough, but I have enough for my pocket, my front piece, and for my sleeve bottoms and some part for the hood. So I was really excited because I'm going to get to kind of match him a little bit, and he loves matching. So I'm going to take advantage of that while he still loves it, because I know in a couple years he'll probably hate it. So I'm really excited to do this one with you guys. So we're going to go ahead and get started and sew this along together. All right, I'm going to turn you down so you can see what I'm doing. The first thing I did is I have my piping. Oh, by the way, I already cut out all my pieces. I have my 4 hood pieces. I have my front and my back. I have my pocket piece. I have my sleeve top because I'm doing the the two-tone sleeve. So I got my sleeve top, my sleeve middle, and then my sleeve cuffs. I've also got the piping for the pocket on there. And I am going to do the drawstring version. But if you are doing the band version, all you'd have to do is do the band just as you would do the armbands. So we'll get to that. But anyhow, I got my piping first to do the piping on the trim. I already folded it in half and I steamed it so it would stay nice and straight. Here's my pocket piece. So on the front part, the longest part of the pocket, I'm going to put that face up on my board, and I'm going to attach this piping to it, matching the raw edges of the piping to the raw edge of the top of the hoodie, well, the side of the hoodie. And so I'm going to go ahead and pin that. And I'm going to serge it on. And I know that the serger will eat quite a little bit of it, but really the piping is just for it to look nice and to have the edge, the edging nicely done. Instead of just having like a raw edge or a folded edge, the piping looks really good on there. So you might want to use like a contrasting color. I'm using the black because that is going to be my contrasting color. On the one I'm wearing, I use the what color is that? It's like a I don't know, like a maroon color, heathered maroon, I guess you would call it. I'm not sure. Anyway, I really like it. So I'm excited to do this one too. Can't wait for it to get cold. I'm wearing it right now because in my house it's nice and cool, but it's still kind of warm outside. I can't wait for it to get cold. Anyway, so I pinned it to my pocket, and if you see the raw sides, the raw edge is touching the raw edge of the fabric. You can see it right there. And I'm going to go ahead and serge that on. Slowly making sure it's catching the piping and the pocket, so it's not just catching one or the other or none. Oops, sorry, this is double brush poly and it's kind of slipping off my fingers. Let me put it on there. There we go. I always sew with my trim facing up. That way I can see for sure how much of the trim is going under the serger. I do not want all my trim to be gone under the serger. and then realize when I'm done sewing it and I turn it around and I look at the trim that all the trim is gone. So I always want my trim to face up so I can see what's going on. And I've realized that that always helps me to do a cleaner edge. And it looks neater. Guys, I'm so excited for this hoodie. I love it already. I don't know where I put my trimming scissors. 1 second. Okay, got some other ones. These ones are not as sharp, but they're in. Okay, so here we go. The piping is on, and so I'm gonna flip it up. So here's my stitching, my serger. So I'm gonna flip it this way so that you can only see the piping. And I'm gonna go ahead and give it a little steam. When you attach it to the front part of the hood, of the hoodie, you will sew it down so it will actually stay down, so it won't come up because you will attach it, so it will stay on. So there it is. It's turned upside down. So here's my serge edge is underneath it, and it went up. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sew this one onto my front piece. So this is my front. And I'm going to go ahead and attach it to it. I'm going to put it face up. My front piece is going to be face up. And so will my pocket. My pocket will be face up. And I'm going to match it at the shoulders, all the way to the edge of the shoulder. So you have a little bit of leeway right here on this side. So you have a little bit showing on this side. So I'm going to put it all the way to the edge so that the arm side matches. See? The arm and the shoulder match. And here we go. Cutting those strings. Okay? And making sure that the piping is facing down, just straight. I'm gonna pin that to my shirt. So I want to make sure that it attaches on all sides. It's kind of hard to see here on my ironing board. Probably be easier to do it if you did it on the ground or on a cutting table or mat, but I'll show you what I'm doing. I am pinning the side of my pocket to the side of my top shirt. So here's where the armpit is, the armsicle right here, and I'm going, here's the corner, so I'm matching them all up to the sides. So I'm matching the sides up right here on the sides. Gonna go ahead and pin that. So that it doesn't move when I go to attach the pocket. I don't want my pocket to get all funky and move around and not look straight. And since I'm not sewing this one together yet, I will be sewing it together at the end after I attach the pocket. I will be sewing the front and the back. So this is both still the front. So I don't want to have I don't want to sew it twice because then it gets really thick. So I'm gonna just wait. Or you can even do a basting stitch all the way around to keep that from moving around if you want to do that. I'm pinning it really good So I'm not doing that, but it really is up to you. So on the other side where the pocket ends, where the top ends, I'm going to attach it to the bottom of the other side of the shirt, of the front. So here it is, attaching it at the bottom. I'm pinning it. Now remember, you're facing the right side of the top of the front to the back side of the pocket, because you want it to face forward, both sides. You want both sides to face forward. Okay, so I'll show you. As you can see, I pinned on the one side, the whole side, and then on the other side I just pinned the bottom, and you can see here's the pocket. So on the pattern there is a placement guide for where the pocket hole is gonna go, because now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to pin the whole pouch area onto the hoodie, onto the top front of the shirt. So I want to leave enough space for my hand to go in. See, there's just a little bit of space for my hand to go into my pocket. So in the pattern piece, there's little notches where it marks where the pocket goes, where you do not sew over, because you're going to sew over the whole thing. You don't want to sew your pocket closed. So you get your pattern piece and you put it on top of your, sorry, let me fix this. You put it on top of your pocket. And I don't have my pattern piece right here with me, but you will place it on top of your pocket, and I have it marked, and you mark it right where the pocket goes. So I could put a little pin to show me this is where my pocket's gonna end, and this is where it starts. So I do not want to sew in between these two pins, because when I go to sewing, attaching my pocket on, I don't want to attach it to I don't want to close my pocket where I'm going to put my hand. So I'm going to go ahead and pin the rest to the actual top, and that's where I'm going to sew. I'm going to sew that with a stretch stitch. If you have a cover stitch, you can sew along with your cover stitch. If you don't have a stretch cover stitch, you can do a stretch stitch, some kind of zigzag stitch, just to hold it down. So I'm doing a stretch stitch. Yeah, I'll show you. It's all pinned, and I have my pin facing this way where my pocket's gonna go. So I know from here to here I'm not gonna sew that. I'm gonna leave it open so I can put my hand in there for my pocket. Okay, so now on my machine, I'm going to sew that down. Okay, and I want to make sure I'm sewing it pretty close to the line. Okay, and I'm going to do like I said, I'm going to do a stretch stitch. Okay, I got to set on stretch stitch, and here we go. My machine is being very weird. Oh. Okay. Let's try this again. I'm gonna thread it again. If you don't have issues with your machine, count yourself blessed. Machines are so temperamental. Especially when I'm trying to do a video. This is what it does. It's to make me look bad. Alright, here we go. Make sure you're not pulling at it so it doesn't pucker and look all misshapen when you're done. You just want to guide it. You just want to guide the sewing machine. Okay, I'm almost to that pocket spot. And I'm going to stop right there at the pocket. And then I'm going to go down to after where I put that pin and start right there, back up again. And then finish up. Okay, it's done. So I put it all together, except for where my pocket goes, where my hand's gonna go. I want to make sure that I leave that pocket where it can go in right there. I don't want to sew it all together. Okay, so now my front is done, and now I'm gonna turn it and face it again, face up. And I'm gonna grab my back piece. And I have my right side, and I'm going to put right sides together. So this is facing up, my front piece all finished, and then my back piece is going to go right on top, right sides facing each other, and I'm going to meet the raw edges at the shoulders, the shoulder seams. And attach the shoulder seams. So far so good, huh guys? It really isn't that hard at all. Except for when your machine gives you problems, but that wasn't too bad. Okay, so at my shoulders, raw sides, raw edges together. Sorry, that looks kind of funky. I gotta fix that. It's like poking out. Okay. And I'm going to serge the shoulder seam. One done, one to go. Okay, shoulder seams together. All right, I'm gonna put that one aside, and I'm gonna move on to our hood. So I've got the two pieces for the outer and then the two pieces for the inner. So I want the cool side to be on the outside and the black side to be on the inside. So I'm gonna put the two inners right sides together, right on top of each other. And I'm going to pin the outer edge of the hood. The outer edge. So I'm going to pin it together on the outer edge. Pin it, clip it, however you want to. I am really excited. I love matching my little boy. I mean, I know I don't have a little girl to match, so that's always kind of sad because I have all these cute little dresses from Ellie and Mac and all that. But when I find something that I can match my son with, I just love to do it. So he's going to be so excited when we match. Okay, so here's the outer hood. I mean the inner hood, but I match the outer edge, the raw edges. And I'm going to go ahead and do the same one with the other one just so they're both ready. And then when I'm serging them on, then I can just pick up the other one and do it at the same time. I don't have to stop and pin. Sometimes I just like to go ahead and pin everything together and move on that way. If you want a pattern match, this is when you're going to do that. I got this hood out of whatever I could. I didn't have that a whole lot. So mine is going to have a cool mixed match design. And that's the thing about sewing for yourself. You can do it however you want to. I know some people are very, very picky about pattern matching and everything like that. And I usually am as well. But when I want to make something and I don't have enough fabric, I just say, well, it's for me. It's not for anybody else. If I'm making it for somebody else, then I'm very conscious with that. But since this one's for me, I'm like, it's all right. Okay, so I'm going to sew the outer edge. Here's my hood. I'm going to sew around the outer. So I'm going to sew both of them together. Make sure you go slowly as you turn on the curve. You're going to go around. Okay. It's on. Now we're going to do the outer. Doing the same thing to the other one. So I've been sewing for a year, a little over a year now. And I would not call myself, you know, a master by any means. I'm still so scared to make anything like out of my comfort zone. So I was really so scared about hoodies. But just seeing how easy this is, I'm like, what? I always think this is gonna be so hard, and then I start a pattern and I see how the directions and everything is so easy, and then I'm done and I'm like, wow, why was I so intimidated? Anyway, I hope you feel that way as well when we finish with this one. But anyway, here's the hood. This is my liner. Right now it's inside out, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn it right side out so that the serge seam is on the inside. Here he is. Really cool. And I'm going to tuck him right into my outer hood. And I'm going to match the seam up front, the raw edges, and I'm going to pin it. And then I'm going to pin it all the way to the end, pin it together. See, here's one side, raw edges. And then I'm going to the other side. Go out to the other side and pin those raw edges. Remember, they're right sides facing each other. The liner is facing out, and the outer is on top of the liner facing in. And now I'm going to go ahead and serge along that whole edge. all the way around the edges. Here's my hood, liner, and outer.